Okay, I wanted to share that with you. Looks like horse poop. Yeah, so today we're doing what I believe is called the Six Peaks Loop. Starting out on part of the carriage road, which is a big deal here in Acadia. Apparently they allow horses on it too. I didn't know that, but it's big for biking. Saw a couple people starting out with their e-bikes. And you can get around the entire park on these carriage roads. So considered that, but you know, hiking takes priority, so maybe next time. So yeah, 6 peaks. I can't tell you what they are. I'll try to name them whenever we get to the top of each one of them. It's not all that long. I think it's listed as about 5.5 miles total. Typical scrambly bits and all that kind of stuff, so there'll be some work involved, but all in all, again, another chilly morning, but it's supposed to be another really nice day. And so I'll stop yapping again and we'll show you some of the good parts when we get to them. Just more about the carriage roads here. So every intersection has had these markers and telling you where you're going and stuff. So apparently that goes around the mountain. There's actually numbers on the, so intersections that are numbered. So, and you can get a map, especially if you rent bikes up here. I think they give you the maps. See, it's hard to get lost, I guess. Although I'd still recommend an app like I'm using. Even All Trails, I think, would work for that. But just thought it was interesting. And the other thing I was noting is just how perfectly smooth and flat this is. Maybe it's just such a contrast to what we usually get to hike on, but it would be a nice ride on bikes. Well, that changed quickly. I don't know. You're not going to be able to see it, but we're really not far from the carriage road, but it went straight up. And the footing's back to hiking footing. And you still got a little more up to go, but they caught all those bikers, but us hikers get all the hard stuff. Oh, and there's a view. Yeah, more to go. So I was telling you how it was a chilly start. We just stopped. We're only, I don't know, at most a quarter mile off of the carriage road. And we just stopped to take our second layer off because this is the type of stuff we've been getting already. Just straight up the side of the mountain. It's surprising how warm it gets when you're doing this. Let's see if I can share a little bit of it. I think I got enough where I can, don't need my hands. That's the main thing, especially at my age, is look for the easiest route. Yeah. More I see a blaze up there. All right, you've seen enough. All right, we're not quite at the top of our first peak yet, but before we lose this view, I wanted to show it to you. That's a bay there. You can see, maybe, yeah, there's a boat moving out there. I think that one off in the distance there might be Acadia that we did a couple days ago. There's the open ocean out that direction. And that's probably one of the other peaks that we're going to do today, maybe. Or those, or that one over there, or something else. And then there's Nancy. That's the direction we're going. Don't have much further to go, I think, for this peak. All right, this is Bald Peak, elevation 974. Peak 1 down. Parkman Mountain will be the next one. Over there, where there's other people. Good, I'm glad we're going that way and not down there, but I got a feeling that one's coming up. So anyway, 974 from an elevation doesn't sound like much, but well, you can see sea level right there, and we climbed almost all of it. So yeah, it depends on where you start. Anyway, you can see it's a really nice day. So we made it to Parkman. That's Bald Peak, where we just came from. Some interesting scrambly bits there that I didn't put in. Some butt scooching. Anyway, Parkman, 941 feet, so Bald Man wins. Similar view. And I think that's the next one we're going to, but I don't know. I think it's one of those, either this hump in front or maybe the hump in back. Gilmore Peak, number 3. That should be 1036. It looks like 103G. And that's where we just came from back there. And then we started Bald Peak there, number 1. Still a nice day. Trail goes that way. I think we're going up to the top of that one. Somewhere, it's probably behind there. All right, it's been pretty steep, like this is. You can hear me breathing heavy. It's gone from rocks to roots, now back to rocks again. It's not overly challenging, but it wears on you a little bit. Gotta be careful where you put your feet. Yeah, all right. All right. Again, not quite at the top, but in case I don't get this view, I need to share it. So, the one in back in the middle is Bald Mountain. The one in the middle there is Parkman. And then the one in the front is Gilman. So we're above all those now. And what a gorgeous view. Okay, peak number 4. Sargent Mountain, 1373. As you can hear, there's a couple other people up here. Looks like we got a cruise ship down there.
We're gonna do a panorama.
One extended family running all the way along.
You want to do with Cadillac in the background? All right, this is what we got going out here.
Get out of their way. So there's Hadlock Mountain there. Jordan Pond's down in the below there between us. I think we might be able to get a view of that later. There's the ocean out in that direction. So there go our new friends. Alright, you can probably hear Nancy chuckling because they were up here and they were having a conversation. So we were just trying to move around, which is why I was quiet and didn't talk at first. And so now we're sitting off on the side eating a bagel and they took off. So it's like, once again, we're really good at making friends. Oh, I showed you the rough stuff to walk on. Might as well share with you some fairly easy stuff. So we just came from, try not to spin you too fast, that direction. Here, can you hold these for a second? Just to get you to, there you go, there's the marker for the top of the mountain. And nice and flat. And we're headed, I think, to that one, or somewhere in that general area. Also nice and flat, more or less. And I still gave you an old man grunt. And that's ocean behind it. It's like, well, if you've never been to Acadia, you don't have to do the hard stuff that we've been doing to appreciate this view that's here. It's all around you. Lots of great places to stop. But I personally find it even more enjoyable to be out here climbing these mountains, seeing the views from a slightly different perspective from what other people get, and sharing them with anybody that's willing to watch the videos. So there's my whatever moment. And yeah, so a lot of this until we get there, I'll take it out somewhere along the line. So I just thought I'd show you, these are all over the place. They're cairns. I knew that. I got another one coming up. I'll talk a little bit until we get to it, but they're different because they don't seem tall enough to really do a great job for like winter hiking, which I would assume is the primary reason why you would have them out here, because there's no trees, so you get the paint on the rocks, and that's really tough when it's covered with snow. So then they put the cairns out, and there's another one. to give you an idea of where to go, but but they're really not all that tall. But they all have this unique shape where they have the base with the two rocks and then the one across the middle, and then they throw another one on top. So I guess it's helpful. I think Nancy saw a sign that said that they're called a Bates cairn, B-A-T-E-S. I can see where it's helpful because they're unique, but I'm not sure how good they would be in the winter, like I said. Don't like any of those. We'll just go this way. I'm usually better at that, but I'm talking right now. So yeah, there's another one. Somebody yesterday, the woman said that she thought it was kind of nice that they put these little seats out here for people to sit on. It's like, well, that's not the right use for these things. They don't really look all that comfortable for that either. Now, she could very well have just been making a joke. I did not correct her because, again, I'm so good at making friends. That would be the perfect way to make friends. All right, I'm done gabbing. So we're just about heading up to Penobscot, and there's this pond right here. I just looked it up. It says it's Sargent Mountain Pond. Nice and quiet. And I'm standing just on the edge here. More or less dry. I guess people have used it as a cooling off spot in the middle of summer. Don't know that I'll need it today, but nice and serene. So, number 5, Penobscot. This is where we just came off of, whatever that one was called. Little different view on our way to the final number 6 of 6. And we just stopped here for some dried pineapple, pure sugar. Yeah, so this is one you get to and you say, this is the trail, and then it's followed by, this is the trail. Yes, it's the trail. I don't think it's going to be that bad, but from here it looks real sketchy. Yeah, I don't think it's worth videoing. All right, number 6, Cedar Swamp Mountain, 942 feet. And that was our first one, Bald Mountain. And the others out that direction, and then we were up top there, up top over there. Nancy's chasing around behind me. Okay, you saw everything. Now we just need to figure out how to navigate back to the car. So we're back to this spot that I showed you earlier. Said, wondering if this was a trail and how tricky it might be, but so I figured I'd show you what it actually turned out to be. From down there, it looks pretty difficult. And assuming I can get my foot right here and get started. I think the shaking of the camera is going to make it appear worse than it is. So there's that. Was the first section, and then this one here. You can see how behind the big rocks and in front of this one, there's actually a nice little path here. Of course, the rock's at an angle, so I'm being extra careful because I don't have any extra free hands. And then here's the end of it. So, see, it really didn't turn out to be much. And there it is again from this angle. So, I guess this is a really nice waterfall, typically, but it's so dry up here. There's a couple of drips coming down, that's it. Which is too bad. It would have been nice. This, oh yeah, so you can walk down there underneath this bridge. It's quite the bridge architecture too. All right, we made it. 6.9 miles, 1,500, a little over 1,500 feet. Lots of scrambly spots. It was fun. Not for everybody, but we got another really nice day. Tomorrow's drive back home day, so I'm not sure exactly what we're gonna do. There might be another video. If not, really nice trip up to Acadia. Well, we'll be doing this again.